What's up, guys? It's Anaru, and we're going to go ahead and get started on these map breakdowns, starting with Asylum. A couple things I want to point out real quick. If you are coming into the Forge world and you want to try to learn the spawns and stuff, and you've never really been in Forge world before, I want to explain these guys, the Spartans, or the like see-through Spartans holograms right here. These are initial spawn points only, meaning that this is where you'll spawn at the beginning of the game. Obviously, this guy's red, so he's going to be a red spawn Spartan, and that's all this is for. At the beginning of the game, this is the only time it matters. This little arrow is pointing you to which direction you're facing. So if you get this spawn, this is what you're seeing. This guy, however, the white one, these guys are neutral spawns, but they're also initial spawns since it's a Spartan. But the white is neutral. That means anybody can spawn here. This is more for like Rumble Pit or Free for All, if you'd like to call it that. That's all these are really for. I don't think it's actually possible for somebody to spawn here in a team game since they are color coded. These are the spawns that you're going to be most interested in if you're trying to learn the spawn system. These little circles are respawn points, meaning that this is where you just respawn after a death. Anybody can spawn on these since it's neutral, it's white, and of course, like the arrow is to like what direction you'll be facing. So you'll be looking like this if you spawn here. Um, since it's neutral, I guess technically blue spawn could flip here, like if you're playing red and you get in their base and flip them. But usually, the only time I've really seen blue spawn flip if you're red and you're playing aggressive is they'll flip here to pillars and these three neutral spawns over here. But like I said, if you're trying to do or trying to learn the spawn system, these are the ones you're concerned about. These little tiny ones. Obviously, you've got like the different colored initial spawns here for like green, big purples over there, and the rocks, that type of stuff. That's for multi-team. That's not something you're really going to concern yourself with in a 4v4. But just like I said, the Spartan ones are initial spawns. That's just the beginning of the game, and that's it. Nothing else. That's all you're concerned about. These are the main ones that you want to try to learn. Is these little circle ones. But we'll go ahead and get into doing some callouts. But first thing you need to know: Asylum is a symmetrical map, meaning it's exactly the same on both sides. You learn the callouts for one side of the map, you know the callouts for the other side. It's exactly the same. It's just flipped, different colors. This is called main ramp. This is objective, obviously, because you've got the spot where you plant bomb and flagpole. So this is called objective. This is shoddy ramp, and this is rock ramp. Now, these two little side things, I just generally call this whole side over here health pack. Most people know that there's a health pack right here, so say they're hiding on their health pack or hiding on red health pack, people will know to look over here. This over here is their nades. Like if somebody's hiding, or red nades, somebody's hiding right here. This is nade spawn. It doesn't show them right here, but in some game modes in Reach, there are two frags here. I know in MOG for certain that there are two frags that spawn here. So if somebody's hiding here, you can call it their nades. This is turret. This whole little bridge is called turret, and this area down here is bottom turret. Got sniper ramp and sniper hut. This is called sniper hut. You could always just call it a hut, but I prefer to call it sniper hut. If I'm playing with people that don't do a whole lot of callouts or don't really care, they generally know where the sniper spawns, so it kind of gives them a decent idea of what I'm talking about. And I call this snipe street. Some people prefer to call it pea shooter because you have plasma pistol right here. I call it snipe street. Got shoddy tunnel. This little tunnel, shoddy tunnel, since the shotgun spawns right here. And I prefer to call this shoddy courtyard. Now, in MOG variants, if you play MOG a lot, this is just called courtyard. They prefer to call this little area courtyard, but I play mostly like the more social, just whatever regular playlists. So I just call this shoddy courtyard. Um, in the MOG variant, this whole area that I'm walking through right now, and this little spots, is called bonfire. So if you play MOG, bonfire, this whole area. Now, if you're like me and you just play like the regular Slayer things, I like to call this area right here over to this area right here. Basically, between these two pillars, I call bonfire, and I call the rest of this courtyard. Now, the reason that this is called bonfire, if you're wondering, picture like a fire being right here. You know, if you've ever gone out and participated in a bonfire, you sit around the fire. People come around here, they crouch in the corners to try to get their shields and their health back. So I only call this small area bonfire when I'm personally playing, since I don't do a lot of MLG. And then I call the rest of this area courtyard and shoddy courtyard. And then obviously you have rocks. If you wanted to be really specific, you could call this big rock right here. Big rock in MLG is actually more like right there, because you can jump from it up onto health pack. Um, but if you're just playing a regular playlist like me, usually just saying calling somebody out in their rocks is the best way to do it. You know, everybody knows where the rocks are. This is jump up. Obviously, this is red jump up though, but this is called jump up since you jump in here to ring 2. And if you see somebody crouching like this or crouching like this, and it's an enemy, these I would just say, you know, somebody's hiding by jump up. People usually come over here and check the crevices, but this whole little area is jump up. This whole thing right here, this whole ramp and this little bridge, it's called carbine. It used to be called carbine because in Halo 2 there was a carbine that spawned on this ramp, like where the needle rifle is. It's a needle rifle now, but people still prefer to call it carbine. I guess just going back to Halo 2 days. But this whole thing, it's called carbine. If somebody's like right down here in this area, you can call it bottom carbine or underneath carbine. But that's pretty much it for the sided callouts. Oh, this right here. If they're hiding around here, this is called pillars. If they're standing right here, just this whole little area is called pillars. If you're playing it from blue spawn and somebody saw me doing this, I would expect them to call me out as being in their pillars or red pillars. And some people like to call this doorway, like their doorway, our doorway, red doorway, blue doorway, whatever. But I don't usually use this call out because if I see somebody that's going to stand right here, they're usually going in here anyway. So I usually just call them out as being ring 1 because this is ring 1. It's whole little bottom area, ring 1. So if you see somebody coming in here, just say that they're going into ring 1 because they're most likely not just going to stand here in the doorway. But you got the ramp up, and now you're in ring 2. And obviously this thing's called ring because it's just one big circle. But ring 1, ring 2, and then if it'll let me do it, yeah, this is ring 3. In MLG, they have a little jump up thingy right here on this. You can jump up onto it and then jump up here to ring 3. If you're playing in a regular like Team Slayer playlist, Team Objective, the only people that are going to get up here are people using jetpack. So you don't really have to worry about ring 3 unless it's a jetpack guy. But in MLG, there are the little jump ups. There's another one that they put over here on the blue side. Yeah. But like I said, ring 1, ring 2, ring 3. And then that's pretty much it for callouts. Because if you want to do another quick run through, blue main ramp, blue objective, blue shoddy ramp, blue nades, blue health pack, blue rock ramp, blue turret, bottom blue turret, blue sniper huts, blue snipe ramp, blue snipe street, blue shoddy courtyard, blue rocks, blue courtyard, blue bonfire, blue jump up, and then you got blue carbine. It's exactly the same on both sides. So like I said, you learn one side of the map, you've learned it all. But we'll go in to do power weapons real fast, but this is not power weapons. I'm just putting this out. Not everybody knows that there's a DMR here, so if you're in, like, say, a regular Team Slayer where you just got assault rifles and a pistol and you don't want to use either, there's a DMR here, and obviously, like I showed you before, needle rifle on carbine. It's the same on both sides, so there's 2 DMRs and 2 carbines on the map, or needle rifles. So if you're playing an assault rifle variant, and you want to get a rifle, those are your 4 spawns. But for actual power weapons, got shotgun in here. It's 90 seconds on respawn time, a minute and a half basically, and it has two spare clips. I don't know why they actually call it spare clips, even with the shotgun. I guess they just wanted a generalized thing. But the shotty holds 6 bullets, so two spare clips means that it has 18 in total. 6 bullets and then 12 left over. Same thing in the other shotty tunnel on the other side. This one's a little bit weird. The sniper, it says 90 seconds and no spare clips. I don't know if I'm loading up like a specific variant, but the snipers on Asylum actually come with 8 bullets, four and then an extra spare clip. And respawn time is generally decided by how much ammo they have. This one, when it has no extra clips to it, or this one only carries 4 bullets, I would say is, the 90-second one. I would say that's probably the actual one that you're going to run into in Team Slayer is probably 2 minutes. Because, like I said, this says 90 seconds, no spare clips. It would probably be 2 minutes with the extra clip because it's usually between 2 to 2.5 minutes, depending. And how much ammo a weapon has, like I said, usually decides how much of a respawn time it has. Last power weapon is the sword, if I can get a good look at it. And it's on a 90-second respawn time as well. No spare clips, meaning just, the 10 slashes that come with it. I'm not sure if you can actually get more than 10 slashes on a sword, but it might be possible. But those are the only 3 power weapons on the map, unless you wanted to consider the needlers, which are right here. But I hate the needler. And that's basically it. Like I said, the sniper in a regular playlist is probably 2 minutes. Shotties are both 90 seconds, and sword is 90 seconds as well. Main thing to keep in mind with power weapons, though, is that they cannot respawn even if they're empty and they've been completely used. They cannot be spawned until they are dropped. So, say this sniper rifle is empty. I've fired every bullet that I possibly can. I have to drop it for something. So usually I would come back here, drop the empty sniper for the plasma pistol, and if it's been 2 minutes or whatever, then it'll instantly repop. Now that is a skill that you can kind of not so much as abuse as use to your advantage. Mainly with the rocket launcher. Say you have the rockets, you fire all 4 shots, your team loses control of that area, and so you've got 30 seconds until the rockets respawns, and the enemy team has control of the rocket area. As long as you don't drop the rockets, they cannot respawn. So you can hold the empty rocket launcher and then force the rockets to spawn whenever you want them to spawn. The other circumstance in which a power weapon will be force spawned is if the host switches. And if the host switches, say, 30 seconds before the sniper is going to come back up, that timer no longer applies. All the respawn timers are wiped and everything instantly respawns. So it'll be the next time that you pick up the sniper again. Like, say you just picked up the sniper rifle, you walk away, and it's been 5 seconds. Host switches, it's back. You come back, and as soon as you touch it to get more ammo, that's when the new cycle will restart. But that's pretty much it, since there's only the 3 power weapons, but they're exactly the same on both sides, except for the sword. The sword is the only one that you have to fight over. Generalized setup for this map: you always want somebody in ring, at least one person, preferably ring 2, because you can watch both carbines and both sniper streets and the doorways and the jump ups. This is the biggest spot to control on the map. You always want at least one person in here, but if you're playing with a team, your preferable setup would be 2. You'd want 2 in here, and then whenever you actually go for the spawn trap, one of the guys would come out like right here, look towards objective and rocks. The other guy you would have come out here onto their carbine. Now this is an aggressive push because you're playing, on their side of the map, but it's a very easy way to keep them spawn trapped because generally if you kill them in the rocks, they're going to spawn over there on Shoddy side, and your guy on Snipe Street can put the pressure on them. And the third biggest part that you want to a setup, especially if you're playing an aggressive spawn trap, is you want somebody in their sniper hut. Because he can sit here and he can see the objective spawns perfectly. He can see the spawns over here that are kind of protected from everybody else with the Shoddy tunnel. And he can, if they get wiped out in the rocks and they spawn over here, he can also help the guy that's right there. Look at these guys. This is the best setup. This is also the hardest spot to control, I think, is being inside their sniper hut, and it's probably the most aggressive. The problem with it being is this is the main spot you want to look, because as long as you're standing right here, nobody can spawn on top of that to get behind you. But the problem that usually happens with the guy in the sniper hut is somebody spawns like down there, and he doesn't notice, and they sneak up the ramp, come up behind him, or come up from the side, beat him down, that type of thing. So if you're playing this spot, every now and then you want to come over here and check and stuff. But this is the main area you want to hold down to make sure this guy doesn't spawn on you. But that's pretty much a generalized setup. The fourth guy would be like your aggressive pusher. If you're playing a Slayer variant, you'd probably have him like wreaking havoc here in the rock somewhere and pushing up into their objective. But he doesn't want to push too far. Like if he just comes in here and he stays here, you're gonna force spawn them, like way back over there, and you don't want that to happen because your setup's broken. But he can come in here and get up one shots. And your fourth guy, if you're playing an objective match, would also be the guy you want coming in here to run a flag. Basic tips for running a flag, if any of you do play objective, I know most people are Slayer only. If you wipe them out of the rocks, they're going to spawn over there generally. So if you wipe them out in the rocks, you pull flag, you want to run it through here. Run it through the rocks, because then they have to spawn over there and come towards you. And then, once you've made it around this little area right here, once you get past that pillar, you've got cover all the way to your courtyard. And it's vice versa. If they wipe you out, or if you wipe them out inside here, this little area, or in the hut, they're going to spawn rocks. So if you wipe them out over there, you'd pull flag, and you'd run a route like this through the pillars. That would be your safest route. The one that's hardest to pull off is if they're all on top of objective. If you wipe out all four on objective, it's kind of take your pick on how to run the flag. Usually that would be the time that I would say go ring one with the flag, because if they're all on objective, you're usually going to get a split spawn, like two people over here and two people on rocks, so it's kind of dangerous. But that would be the time that you want to go ring one with it, most likely. Now, say you are the person that's playing defense, they're going for your flag. If they wipe you out in the rocks and you spawn over here, and they have the flag, instead of going back this way like most people try to do and throwing nades and stuff, you just want to push straight into their courtyard in their bonfire, maybe even all the way up into their objective if you can get there. You want to cut that guy off as he comes around here. That's what you want to do. And vice versa, if they wipe you out of the shoddy courtyard, you want to spawn, and instead of trying to chase him over there, just come straight through here, and it's the same deal. Just get over here inside of their courtyard as fast as you can, wipe that guy out as he comes over through here, try to get your flag returned, and then go back to your side of the map. That's like ways that you would counter. The hard part about countering, and the reason that this is the best setup, is because, say you wipe them out in shoddy, and they spawn right here, and they're going to try to do that strategy where they run through there to cut them off. You've got a guy right here on Carbine to shoot them as soon as they spawn. And even if the guy on Carbine dies, he's buying your flag runner that's going around on this side time, because they're generally not just going to run right past. Because if you just sprint, this guy on the Carbine is just going to peg you the whole time and get you, really weak or kill you. And vice versa over here. If you die in rocks and you respawn on this side and you try to make the run for the flag, if they've got a guy right here and a guy in the hut, these two are going to stop you from getting over there. That's why it's the best setup. Now, obviously, if you're not playing with a team, you're not really going to get this setup. But the best thing that you can do is what I say, playing it as filling the gaps. If you're playing solo, you're not playing with a party, the strategy that I use is called filling the gaps. Basically, if you've got a teammate that's over in their sniper or on their snipe street, and guys that are in their carbine, and say your third teammate's playing aggressive over here somewhere, come up into the ring. Control the ring, because there's nobody in here. You want at least one person in here. If say all of your teammates are in the ring in the carbine, then you want to be over here or inside their snipe hut. You want to just try to fill out that generalized setup as much as possible to give you the advantage. That's what I mean by filling the gaps. Just pay attention to what your teammates are doing, even if they're randoms. Just fill in whatever spot they're leaving open is the best way that I do it. That's how I do my gameplays. When you guys see me going in playing solo, I just fill in whatever I feel is open, and that's how I get so many cutoff kills and things like that. Catch so many people that are one shot, is I'm covering an area that my teammates haven't already covered. But that's just the generalized setup for this map. I've already done all the callouts and the power weapon spawns and things. Don't forget to vote in the comments for what map you'd like to see second. As right now, I've just got one vote for the pit, but I'm not going to do the pit because that's an MLG variant only. I'd like to do something that can be done across the board. and Uncaged. So if there's no more votes, then it's probably going to go to Uncaged. This is the second map in the series, and just like I announced last time, I do have both a Facebook page and a Twitter page for now, and I'll be posting all of my videos to that. Uh, so you can either add either one of those. If you don't like the Twitter thing, I've got a Facebook page, vice versa, whatever. Both of those links are going to be in the description. But I will talk to all of you guys later.